Hello, hi, good morning, welcome everybody. In this session, I'll explain what's coming with the new version as new features. Hopefully, the new features is going to make your job and especially the teacher's job a lot easier. Um, let's just get started. First, I want to show you the differences. Basically, this is what we had before. In the old version, we used to have a tab, intervention tracking, which we still have it, so we keep it, but the design has changed. I'm going to show you that. Maybe I can just compare next to each other. Maybe not. In here, we have these tabs, if you remember, and we used to enter the data into these three cells. In the new version, though, intervention tracking, this tab has changed at all. In the old one, these tabs, intervention date or minute, the master level, these three tabs, columns, are gone. So instead of that, we have only the standards. And this sheet, intervention tracking, as originally planned a long time ago, like years ago, will be used only for planning intervention. So teachers will look at the data, read the data, find the needs, find the student with their needs, and plan the intervention. So that's the purpose of this sheet, intervention tracking, from now on. So what about data entry? Where is it going to happen? So here's the new tab, data entry, and that is where we're going to ask teachers to enter the logs. And one more difference, let's just go back to this old one. You see this tutorial attendance? So this tab also will be removed. We are not going to need this. Instead of having a tutorial attendance, I have merged that tutorial attendance and data entry into just one tab. So the tutorials will be tracked in this sheet as well as the minutes. So let's see what we have in this tab, in the data entry, how things work, and assigning teachers, assigning tutorials, tracking the attendance tutorials, and minute entries and all that. Let's get started, and I'll explain how it works and what kind of features we have in this new version. Feel free to ask any questions. If you have any, you can just unmute yourself and ask your questions. So I'll be happy to answer throughout the session to answer any questions. So what do? I have to select one of the options, small group, plot, or tutorial. Let's go with small group. Let's say I'm the lab teacher. I'm doing a small group with these 3-4 kids. And this teacher part is important. This is the new flexibility. We used to have an assigned teacher here. If, let's say, Mr. Lee is the assigned teacher to this student, and if I am Mr. Lee, then I don't have to really enter anything. But if I am another totally different teacher than this assigned teacher, then I have to type my name. And that is important because whatever minute I'll put over here will go to someone, either here, or if I don't type anything, the minute will count for this teacher. What if there's no one assigned? So there's no teacher entered here, there is no one assigned here, like both are empty, then this minute will count for this teacher right here. So whomever you ran this report for, and that minute will count for that teacher. If there's no any assigned teacher, if there's no entered teacher here, then the minute will count for this teacher. What else? So here, the teach or the skill, that's going to be really probably the best part. We didn't have anything for K2, for instance. And kindergarten through second grades, they didn't really anything to enter data, or we weren't able to really track. And I know you had some concerns about it. I had a lot of questions. Right now with this new version, maybe running will not be an option because there is no maybe district assessment. If there is, you can just run the data anyway. If there is no any district assessment for some certain grade levels, then this sheet, I'll create a template so you'll be able to use the template. Of course, the template will not have the student name. So manually, you're going to enter the student name and maybe student ID, and you're going to fill the rest of it, like choose their tiers. And then whatever you enter here, it still can count. Probably that should require another webinar that are focusing only K2, how it can work, because I didn't create that template yet. Let's just postpone that part. K2, how K2 can use this. Maybe I should explain that in another webinar after I create that template, just about how to use the template, right? So this is, let's just say this is for 3 and up. This is for the grade levels that we can run the tracking tool for. Then what? So teacher name is optional. We want teacher, if this teacher is not the assigned one or the actual teacher, then we want this teacher to enter the data. What if there's an assigned teacher here? And this is the teacher I'm intervening in the small group, but there's another teacher assigned. Still, do I have to type the teacher name? Yes. If there's no name here, this minute first will look at this cell, and there's nobody, then this minute will go to this person. And if I want this minute counts for this teacher, then I have to type the name. So now 45 minutes will be counted for sample teacher. Ticks, there's no any data validation, there's no drop down. So teachers can enter the ticks and skills information as detailed as possible or as they want. A simple entry will be good enough. Let's say if this is 5th grade, then the standard is 5 to, let's say, A. Not percent, but 5. So the tick will be good enough. They can copy from somewhere. They can look it up over here. And okay, I'm covering this standard, so I'm just going to copy this and paste it over there. The good part, they don't have to really type the actual tick. If they're covering some of the prerequisite skills, they don't have to really type the whole paragraph. Just a small explanation about the skill they're covering will be good enough, I believe. I ask you to be a little careful about how much detail you ask from teachers. This process is already, for some teachers, frustrating. So you don't want to make it more and more frustrating. The simpler, the better. As long as you understand what's covered in that session, that will be good enough. So the note, this is again, there's no any data validation, any drop down, any limitation on entering data here. They can put any note. They can take note about the student, like this student, about this session, as detailed as they want or possible. So they can type whole paragraph, or they can just type the master level. Let's say the master level of this student in this session with this particular tick is 5. That's good enough. There's no 5, there's 4. Top is 4. So that's pretty much it. This is for one kid. If that's the case for, let's say, for this one as well, I can just make copy and paste the others, so I don't have to type again and again all of them. If I fill out the first row, if that applies to everyone, just copy it. But if, let's say, this kid didn't get master level 4 but 3, I can just simply change that 3 to whatever. Or if this student had to leave earlier, couldn't really make all entire 45 minutes, maybe just 20, then I can change the minute to 20 then. So this is basically how it goes, the data entry part. Data entry can go up until really a long, and one of them, like a blue, belongs to just one day. And it goes by blue, orange, so on and so forth. So teachers can distinct, hey, today is blue day, tomorrow is gonna be orange, so they won't really get confused, just to give them a little easiness on seeing what's happening on what day, to prevent any confusion, Let's say today is the tomorrow, right? If I selected, October 16th, Wednesday, so tomorrow I'll just select Thursday. And I enter the data here. And if today is Saturday and I'm providing a Saturday tutorial, I just select the Saturday. What is this one? There's only one option here, tutorial cancel. So let's say today is Saturday. Let's just hypothetically speak. Today is Saturday, and today I'm having a Saturday tutorial with some of my kids, and the assignments will be here. right? They're assigned to it. You know what? Let's take care of here and then come back to this Saturday tutorial, how we really fill out we do the data entry on the tutorials. Student ID is student ID. It's coming automatically roster. So automatically it's filled out. Student names will be filled here. Automatically it will be here. Calculated tier and actual tier. Let's talk about the tiers. Tier calculation or the actual decided the tiers that you have already done at the beginning of the year. This is how it goes. This is how it works. Tracking tool calculates the tiers when you run it anytime. So when you run it for star, there will be some calculated tiers. When you run it for district assessment, tier will be again recalculated. So it's going to be calculated tier based on the assessment history here. So based on the previous year's star data, previous year's NWA data, as well as the current assessment, which is district assessment, right? So based on these information, tracking tool is always giving you a new calculated tiers. But it doesn't mean that that's the tier for the student. Students' tiers is decided in the data meeting by you and the teachers. So you already have the tiers from the beginning of the year. From the STAR test, you already cleared that out, right? You identified student tiers. So how can we use them? This actual tier and the calculated tier automatically same. If you see the pattern, they're all the same. And you can change it. So let's say this student number 1, is calculated as tier 1, but at the beginning of the year, you call that student is not tier 1, but tier 2. So you can come here and change it to tier 2 then. And if this kid was tier 1 and still that's what you decided at the beginning of the year, keep it. And if this student is calculated tier 2, but you in your records, that student seems to be tier 3, then change it to tier 3. It's gonna take forever. I believe this is what you can see, right? I mean, every single student retype or select the tiers. So to make your job a little easier, there is a little tool that I've used. In the previous edition, it was available too, but mostly people didn't use it, probably didn't realize that it's available there. I'm just gonna go over how can we bring the previous tiers into here. I just want to update this automatically from a sheet. So check this out. This is a sample teacher, same section, and this is run for star at the beginning of the year, let's say 2 months ago. And these tiers is the actual tiers that we decided at the time. Like 2 months ago, we already filled this out. And there was already calculated tier, let's say. And how can you bring these tiers, because this is the same section, same students, to here? What you do is basically copy this address, the whole address, this star math, whatever is the URL on here. This, I'm talking about this address right here. So to copy the whole thing, you can use Control-A on your keyboard to select everything, Control-C to copy, and you can just paste here. Let's read what's pop up right there. Paste previous report ID here to bring former tiers. So that's my previous report. These are my tiers, decided tiers long time ago that I want to bring over here. So what I need to do, paste the previous report ID. Report ID means this huge number right here. This is report ID. Either you can copy and paste the report ID or you can paste the whole address. Both is gonna work. So I'm just gonna copy and paste the whole entire address over here. Press enter on the keyboard, and that's supposed to tell us something. It's loading. REF is a reference error. It's not an actual error. It is a reminder to allow access this spreadsheet to access the other one. So I click on allow, and now this spreadsheet is gonna read the other one and bring all the tiers over here. As you see, the tiers are updated. So now these tiers are brought over here. Okay, this is how we use this A1 cell, bringing the previous tiers. This is how it goes. Second, assign teacher is very much the same thing. You just type the name. I am getting questions like, what is the format for teacher's name? like a first name, last name, first name, or just last name, because I see all kind of them. There is no certain format. Whatever you type over here, that's what you're gonna see in the Power BI report. So my suggestion is first name and last name, if just to prevent any confusion. As long as you can recognize that name on Power BI, you're good to type whatever you want to type. Let's talk about tutorial. Assigned tutorial, guys, these part, column E and column F, assigned teacher and assigned tutorials, these are the columns to be filled during the data meeting. At least the decision should be made in the meeting. Maybe you can fill it out later. Maybe in the data meeting, it will take forever to fill this spreadsheet out. You can just leave it to another time. But the decision, like who is going to be in the tutorial and who is assigned to these kids, and as the lab teacher in the small group, am I taking tier 2 and tier 2S, or this tier 2S is going to be interventionist or the lab teacher, or totally another teacher, like whom? Like a SPED teacher. Who knows? Maybe this student is SPED and you want to assign this student to SPED teacher. This is what you do. Instead of choosing a tier, select SPED and type the SPED teacher's name over here. Also, this withdrawn is important. If there is a student and not any longer at school, then you just choose it. So whatever the minutes, that tier will be excluded. So this kid will be excluded from the calculations. And that was a problem before. Now this is how you do it. Instead of deleting the whole row or the information, let's keep the information there. Let's just click on withdraw, so that won't count, will not count in the calculations. So the tutorial, this is how it is. I have included more and more options this time. You basically choose one of the days. I know you have a question, what if student assigned to 2 different days, let's say Monday and Tuesday? The combination will be a lot, and it's going to be huge calculation. Just think of the combinations, possible combinations of Monday through Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday. That's going to be a lot. That's why I didn't include like a double days. Instead, I choose just Monday. If any student is assigned to tutorial on Monday and Wednesday, choose one of them and go. That's good enough for us. 1 day is good enough. However, on the other hand, if there's a kid assigned to tutorial on one of the weekdays as well as Saturday, you can select that one. So Monday and Saturday tutorial, or Wednesday or Saturday, or just Wednesday. This is how we assign tutorials to students. So how does it go? How does it work with the attendance part? Okay, check this out. This kid is assigned to tutorial on Wednesday, and I have to, if this session is a tutorial session, then of course not Saturday. Let's say this is Wednesday, and this kid is having this intervention in a tutorial, and the minute is, let's say he was in tutorial for 40 minutes. So as soon as I type a minute to this student on this day for a tutorial, whom already assigned to a tutorial, this is an attendance. So this kid should be in the tutorial, and he was in the tutorial on this day for 40 minutes. So what if there's no any minute here? Then this student actually didn't show up. This is what it is. So he was assigned tutorial, and I select tutorial, and there is no minute, which means that he was absent. This is how we can actually take the tutorial attendance. What if I want to excuse the student from the tutorial? I just can select tutorial excuse. So this student is excused from tutorial, so it won't count as an absent. Rather, it will be on Power BI, you will see an E rather than A. A stands for absent and E stands for excuse. What if tutorials is canceled on that particular day? So I want to excuse everybody. Let's say there's a lot of students assigned to tutorial, and I don't want to type like a select tutorial excuse. There will be many kids in here. That's going to take forever. Instead, if I select this one, so whomever assigned tutorial on this particular day, they all will be excused. I don't have to really type anything here because I am excusing everybody assigned tutorial on this particular day.
For us, we have teachers with core that have certain students, but in their lab classes, they can have students from other core teachers. So my question is in regards to tutorials. I know that the spreadsheet they're using their small groups to put interventions and all of that, but when they input their tutorial kiddos, are they doing that in their core sections, or how would that work?
This version is also bringing a great feature to combine different sections. Let me show you how it goes. Take a look at this one. This is another section, right? That is 5A and sample teacher, or maybe another teacher, who knows? And the students are from 1 through 27. These are the name of the kids. And this is totally a different section and different kids. As you see, these are different kids, different IDs, and even maybe different teacher, who knows? I mean, it doesn't really matter. What you do, you basically copy the whole address here, or maybe just the ID. Like, this is the ID I can copy, or I can just basically copy the whole entire address. I copy it and I paste it over here, because this is what it says. Paste the other section's report ID here. I'm just gonna paste it. Enter it. And allow this sheet to access the other one. Now the other section is here. So we have this section, this is 5A, and this is 5B. Since the structure has changed, the entire formula structure has changed. Unfortunately, it will work a little slow, especially when you first time open the spreadsheet. It will be slow. Like, it will take maybe like a 20-30 seconds to really finish entire calculation or make the big changes, like bringing entire big section over here. Data entry will be quick. Like, when you type like a minute or select a tutorial type, intervention type, it will just work fast. However, like another bringing section is kind of huge job, and Google kind of struggles about it because there's a huge formula behind this working. That's why it's kind of slow comparing to the previous version, but still not that bad. I mean, I believe we can easily survive with that speed. So this is the new section, 5B. These are their tiers. This is their calculus tier. These are the actual tiers brought from the other. And I type here probably was originally, that was the idea. It was going to bring over here, and if there were some changes to make, like assigning teacher, assign tutorial, or changing tiers, it was supposed to be made in the original one here. Not necessarily. In the last minute, I made another change. This information, the ID and name, is coming from there. So there's nothing you can do about it. Even the calculated tier, you cannot really type, because if you type something into either the name or the tier, it will mess up the whole thing. Let's just type something, okay? Tier 3. Enter it. It will mess up the whole formula. The whole thing is gone. So how we're gonna fix it? Whatever you type, delete it. So first 3 columns automatically will be brought from there. This information is also bringing too, and column E and column F. But in A through C, column A through C, you don't have any flexibility to make changes. You don't have to make any change anyway, right? You're not going to change the ID. You're not going to change the name or the calculated tier, but you will be able to change the actual tier. You will be able to change the assigned teacher or the tutorial in this sheet, not the original one. So I can actually change this student tier in here. Let's say this kid is tier 2. So I don't have to make these 3 columns, D, E, and F. I don't have to make the changes in the original one. I can make the changes in this merged version. So I can even assign tutorial to them here. If there was a tutorial or the assign in the original one, let's say this kid is assigned tutorial, let's say assigned Monday and Saturday tutorial, okay? And it will be here anyway. It will brought up over here automatically. It's taking time. As you see, this is calculation. So whatever you have, it will be here. But if you want to make a change, not Wednesday and Saturday. I just want to change it to just Wednesday. I'll just change it here. How many, what is the limitation? Of course, there's a limitation of number of students to merge. Limitation is 3 sections, 100 kids. So let's say I have another section here, section 5C. I'll bring this C over here. I can either open the whole sheet up and copy the address, or I can just go with the get shareable link. If you remember, you already put those IDs into the Power BI, the attachment, the metric file, right? So you can just use those IDs to merge the sections. In this case, since I don't have that metric spreadsheet, I'm just gonna use the address here. If you click on right click, get shareable link, and paste it to the other one, it will bring the second section, 5C, into here. Let's do that, and you will see the error, because it's gonna give an error. Do you see this? There's no allow access button right now available, and it was available in the previous one right here. What's going on? Why is that? The reason is because what you pasted here is not actually the address. So if I just clean this out and leave it as just ID, check this out. This is what it says. ID equals this, right? So if that's the ID, I'm just gonna leave it as the ID. I'm gonna clean the first part out. Now it's supposed to work. The address should look like this. You see that there is no open ID equals, it's supposed to be like this. This is the full address, the actual physical address of the file. Either it's supposed to look like this, the whole address, or it's supposed to look just the ID. So please get to know how it goes. So now I have allow access button, I click on it, and 5C section will be here. This is how we merge different sections into one spreadsheet. Again, the limitation is 100 students, and you know what? The limitation is even more than that. I believe in the last minute I made the change and I limit the sections to 30 kids. So if you have a section have more than 30 students, which is not recommended at all, then change that section, move that one student to another section, not here in real life. So we don't want any section to have more than 30 kids. If that's the case, literally move that student section and make it 30 or less, and this spreadsheet will work anyway then. Let's talk about tutorial attendance again, one more time maybe. This goes again, this part, it goes all the way to the right, and I think it's good for more than 3 months, including the Saturday tutorial, Saturday. So there is more than enough, I think, until district assessment number 2. Okay, so far, is there any questions? You can unmute yourself and speak.
Mr. Aslan, how about if there's 2 different interventionists in the same day? Is that the same process?
If it's 2 different days, you just use 2 different days, right? What if this is October 16, Wednesday, interventionist 1, period 1, pulled out and intervened. And I am the second interventionist, but this part is already filled out. How can I use it? And let's say the first interventionist enter, let's say 35 minutes. This is what I will do. You cannot just increase the minutes because you cannot really, I mean, if you increase this to, let's say 70, that 70 will count for this one, this teacher only, right? But you want those minutes separately to count 2 different people. That's the problem. That's why you cannot merge the minutes, right? So let's keep it as 35. Second interventionist, let's just use this column then. I'm gonna select not, again, Wednesday, same day. I select, again, pull out. I need to type my name and whatever the skill I covered, whatever the minute it is. Let's say this time, second intervention is provided 15 minutes of intervention. That's pretty much it. We can use 2 different group of columns for the same day. This is how we can do that. It may look like it's a waste for this kid. The whole 5 columns is wasted, but trust me, it's gonna be more than enough.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question?
For
Yes.
the merging, is this data going to move over to the other tabs for map and star? Or is there's just merging just for the data entry tab?
When we merge the sections, what else is merged? I only, in this version, I didn't work other reports yet, and that's my plan. But intervention tracking is also merged too. Do you see this? This is the first section, 5A, this is 5B, and this is 5C. Oh, what are the names? They don't show the names. Okay, this is a glitch. Spreadsheet has a glitch on that, and this is the workaround to get rid of that glitch. Select one of the cells somewhere in the middle. It doesn't really matter where you select, just select a cell, right? I select, let's say 50% right here, somewhere in the middle. And on your keyboard, delete or backspace. When you delete the data, it's gonna update the data. That's how I work around the glitch. Hopefully they will fix it. And this is what I'm gonna be doing same. I just select one of the data, click delete on the keyboard, and that's gonna update it's gonna bring the names. Maybe this refresh will do the same. I don't know, I didn't try. But that delete basically is updating this sheet quickly. That's why I didn't try this one. Maybe it'll work too. So, based on your question, answer to your question, only intervention tracking is also merging the data. Not the assessment history, not NWA, and hopefully that will be in the next version, which I don't know when it's gonna be. Next year, next month, I have no idea.
Okay, so the intention is those two. The other thing is if a section is 30, you said it will break?
There will be a break. It will, the kids after 30 will be ignored.
Okay, I see.
So there should not be more than 30 kids in a section.
So let me just confirm, do I have necessarily put the date Wednesday, even though we want to document tutorials for Tuesday?
Whatever it is, the day that we provide tutorial, pull out, small group,
Okay.
it's supposed to be up there. Otherwise, the calculation will be wrong, and also the information will be wrong.
Okay.
If there's a double, then
So we can just combine minutes.
Minutes-wise, it's calculated based on like a weekly. So it doesn't really matter what date it is. As long as it's between that week, it will count. We are making a calculation on weekly base. That's why it doesn't really matter what day exactly is coming from. In terms of Power BI reports, but as a realistic report on this spreadsheet, I'll just type all the days, Monday through Saturday, and whoever showed up or received tutorial or pull out intervention, I just type it under that name. The only issue that we talked about it like 5 minutes ago, if one kid is getting intervention and tutorial on the same day, how it's gonna be actually documented here, enter it. Maybe we can just use different group of columns for the same day that we can get around by that way.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? And am I missing something? Let me just double check. Yeah, it's pretty much it. If there's no questions, hopefully my next session will cover K2. How we can use like something similar for K2 for the sections that we don't have tracking tool reports. So there's no district assessments or anything. So we want to take advantage of this. I want to also track students' interventions. I'll cover that in another session. So last time asking, any questions?
Mr. Azan.
Yes.
Are we going to import these data to RTI metric? So same as before?
Very quick, okay, it's a sample. This is how you did, right? This is just a one sample report. And after this assessments at your campus, you're gonna have maybe 40, 50 of these. So for each section, we're gonna have one. But after merging, you don't have to, like, this one is merged, this section is merged into here, right? You don't have to attach this spreadsheet into the metric anymore because the data for this section is coming from this one. So we don't have to really attach, just one will be good enough. Whatever is typed under this date up until here will be actually transferred to the Power BI report. So for this section 5C or for 5B, we are getting the information from these cells. That's why we can now, after merging, we can ignore this cell and we don't have to really enter it we don't have to attach it to the metric spreadsheet. What I mean by metric spreadsheet, let me show you very quick.
Did you say the K2 is coming up next or later?
I want to create like a template. You will be missing only the roster. There won't be student name or ID or tiers. It will be manually filled out, but the rest will be available. The columns, the formulas, everything will be available. So after you construct the information here and maybe assign teacher, tutorial, whatever you enter, right? A through F, you manually construct the first part, and then you will be able to use this spreadsheet as intervention tracking. So this is Odessa campus, and this is what you did. You have entered all the IDs here, remember? Even some CBAs are entered here too. So we can actually use the rest of the columns here. This one includes all three sections. So I'm just going to use this ID and enter here. I do not have to. I don't have to do with this one. I don't need this one. Or I don't need this 5C section as well to be attached here. Why? Because 5B and 5C data is actually getting transferred into here from 5A anyway. So it's going to be less IDs after the district assessments. That's what I'm saying. In the meantime, you know what? Maybe I should just say something about this one. There's a limitation of what? 250 here. If you need more, please do not add. Adding is not going to help. Instead, you just delete some from top. Okay, just delete some. You don't have to delete the other one. Just delete these ones, and then it's going to help us because we already received the information from here, and we don't need this anymore. We already got it, and they're all saved in the server. So if you need more rows because you're running out from 250, instead of adding, it's not going to help anything. Instead, just delete the old ones. That's better.
Can we delete students?
Deleting is not going to hurt the formulas. You can delete the names, or I would rather, so instead of like a right click and delete the row.
I mean, it would help us with space on one sheet. Like we can fit more of tier 2 and tier 3 students if there is no tier 1 students there.
So you basically want to ignore your tier 1 kids?
If we have to, I mean,
don't ignore them. Tier 1 is important. We need more mastery level, mid-level kids. So they should be part of the interventions.
I understand.
Okay, is there another question?
Is the update file released?
Not yet. Hopefully I'll be able to share it tomorrow. Any other questions? Okay, fast and sweet. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day, everybody.